Welcome, reading one. If you chose one, then you chose the white buffalo. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that light following you everywhere you go because you're a white buffalo. Also, I'm getting that some of you are really struggling with allergies right now. Um, I don't know if you know anyone that sells doTERRA, and I don't plug. I'm not like that. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just telling you my personal experience. But I use this stuff called Breathe, and I'm sure everybody makes their own version of it. But if that's too strong for you, you can dilute it. I dilute mine with a little bit of pure coconut oil or avocado oil. Depends on what oil I have in the house. But anyway, it's really good for allergies. Really good. My husband has like the worst allergies and it's like saved his life. So I don't know who that's for, but look into it. And you can even if you're interested, let me know and I can tell you what's in it. And then maybe you can make your own, maybe a combination of something, or maybe it's just for you to research on your own. But I'm hearing like, don't use medications and things like that. You don't need it. Like you just need like the essential oils like will help, you know, I don't know how you would explain it. It's like an antihistamine, right? It's a bunch of things wrapped up into one. I don't know where this wants to go. I feel like it wants to come closer. Anyway, so allergy people, hold on. Okay, so I had a little talk with White Buffalo and Spirit. So these are just, straight up messages from Spirit. And these are blanket readings, so apply it to your story, right? But before I even started to read the book, I'm getting the chills right now. And the reason why they didn't want you to see the word is for some of you, you're getting too hung up on that kind of imagery, that kind of energy. Meaning like, it's okay to have some sass. It's okay to be sassafras. It's okay to have a little, like we need to have ego to survive. We need to feel good about ourselves, but we don't always have to, be the elephant in the room, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to just be like out there and like, look at me, look at me, look at me, Spirit's saying that for some of you, it's time to kind of pull that back a little bit. So I'm excited because when I read the book, okay, I'm just going to jump into the book, but they wanted me to say that first. It'll tie in. So it says, abundance and security are flowing into your life. Yay, you! That's awesome. All things are possible. Balance and harmony prevail. You may be called upon to stand up for others, but you can do this because you have the support of many beings in the spirit realm. Your native spirit wants you to know, in Native American traditions, there are prophecies about the coming of the white buffalo, especially among the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota, or the quote-unquote Sioux. There's a legend that white buffalo calf woman is a mystical being that came to the people a very long time ago when they were out of balance. She gifted the people with a sacred bundle containing the white buffalo calf pipe to help restore the balance. Upon leaving, the white buffalo calf woman prophesies that she will return at the end of an age and that she will appear as a white buffalo calf. In recent times, white buffalo calves have been born, leading many to believe that this is the beginning of a new time. When this card chooses you, it's an honor, for it speaks of a time of miracles and balance in all things. You are a channel for the greater forces in the universe. With their help, all is possible, but without it, things can be a struggle. So surrender to support from the Great Spirit. You do not have to do everything alone. The journey here is shapeshift into the white buffalo, and the energy this card brings will multiply tenfold. Imagine that you can feel the power in your muscles and the fecund earth beneath your hooves. Feel the weight of your horns and the warmth of your hide. This calls the deeper energies of white buffalo into your life. Yeah, so this is, and they're also saying to research and work with the word resonance. Resonance. I think it's R-E-S, O-N-A-N-C-E, something like that. If Spirit calls me to, I'll put it in the description box. But, it's about resonance, and it's about respect, and it's about respecting, like, who you are and what you're meant to do here on earth, but also finding the balance between, the humanness and the light worker. And it is very easily or I should say, it's very easy for us to be susceptible to the ego and to and pride and whatever. I'm going through something very similar. You're not alone. Also, I was saying to Spirit, I'm like, man, it's difficult to actually do spirit work during hard times like this, during a little tougher astrological times, because even though I'm trying not to buy into it, it's like there's just a lot of negativity and a lot of like weird things around right now, not just myself and my own world, but obviously like out in the world and on social media and the news and all that. We're in an election year, when we're in a big election year. I don't know if you know this or not, but it goes every 2 years. So this year is like the governors, like senators, Congress, like things like that. And then like, then 2 years from now, then it's right. Am I right, Spirit? I don't remember. Isn't it sad? I used to work in politics. So don't, but you know what I'm saying? It's something, I know for sure it's the governor, and then it's like the president. They don't do the president and the governor at the same time. They kind of go, every 2 years. It's like big election years. They stagger it. That I do know, or at least I thought so. If I'm wrong, again, correct me. But I worked in politics for a long time, so boy, I'd be like, but at the same time, I'm not in that, so I'm just like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry to get off topic, but maybe you needed to hear that too. Maybe just to understand that, yeah, like we're like this from now until the end of the year is going to be pretty tough. And I'm not trying to put fear into people. I'm just trying to put awareness out there to be mindful of where you're putting your energy, be mindful of who you're allowing into your orbit. And you don't have to be, a big badass, like, all the time. And, what's it, when they put their hooves into the ground, they're like, whoo, whoo, like they're going to come after you. You know what I mean? And also the other thing Spirit wants us to remember is these are legends. These are stories. It's not like there's just one white buffalo calf woman, and it's easy to get like wrapped up in that, especially depending on what like healers you're talking to, readers, whatever terminology you want to use, witches, wizards, whatever people you're working with, books that you're reading, things that you're watching, whatever it is. We can be easily influenced if we like what somebody's saying, so I mean, it's an energy, right? So it's a white buffalo energy, meaning like you're really special. It doesn't mean like you're the one, you are the only white buffalo. This card proves that. The fact that there will be multiple people who will watch this reading tells me that there's more than one, right? Because this is about us, Spirit. These are messages from Spirit to us, about what we're going through, about what's happening. But at the same time, they don't want us to get it twisted. We have a purpose. We have to find that balance, right? So right now, if you're feeling off balance, that's okay. You're supposed to. We just came off this full moon in Pisces. Whenever you watch this, it's always timeless. But in real time, if you're feeling like, the fuckery is like making you crazy, you're not alone. It's all over the place. And so it is hard to kind of stand our ground and be firm. And, all of these beautiful, all this spirit medicine from the earth wanted to come into this reading today. Almost all of these feathers are feathers that I've actually picked up. This one I picked up yesterday. It has this really cool shiny blue black. I've been working with the Raven Spirit for the last few days, working with magic. And so, there's a lot that's going around, and it's easy for us to fall out of our magic and back into the muggle energy. But if you found yourself here, it's like, you're a very powerful light worker and you have a mission to do, and it's okay. Everything that's happening right now astrologically in real time, it's September 14th 2022. This is like smack dab, like we're in it now. We are fully in retrograde season. Mercury went retrograde Friday. Today's Wednesday, so we are 5 days. I'm finally getting my energy back that was like sucked out of me from that Pisces full moon. Did you guys feel that? Fuck. It was intense. So, give yourself some time. That's why it's been called self-care September, awareness, or what did you say, Spirit? Self-awareness September. There's a lot going on. So, it's like, choose wisely. Just choose wisely right now. Measure twice, cut once. These are the messages from Spirit. But at the same time, abundance and security are flowing into your life. So accept it, love on it, feel good about it, and remember that all things are possible. But when balance and harmony come together, that's when we prevail. So if you are called upon to stand up for others, you know, use your gifts to do that, right? Because you have the support of all these beings in the spirit realm. But at the same time, you know, we are all each one of a kind, but there's no one, right? Like there was a gazillion Jesus. Jesus and Buddha are the same thing. They just have a different name and a different folklore and a different story. Do you know what I'm saying? We are really one. And I urge you, I put a link below, but I urge you to watch the Waning Gibbeous. It was like kind of like a Bitchy Witch meets the Waning Gibbeous reading. It was really fun and really cool, and I shared a lot about what's going on in my experiences of my observance, because you know September is the month of observing, so it's just been really cool. So check that out when you get a chance. Those are your messages. Spirit just says, don't forget that everything is possible. But sometimes we have to struggle through some shit. Sometimes we have to kind of get through the mud, like, right? Like, look at that white buffalo, right? I mean, they're in the snow. They got to get there. They got to get to where they're going. It's a lot easier to walk. Look at how heavy they are. And they got those tiny little ankles. But how much weight that their little tiny feet are holding. It's a lot harder to walk through the snow with that much weight on, right? So take some time to relax and go slow, right? In the Northern Hemisphere for sure, because we're like winding down. We're getting ready for winter, right? Fall is almost here, but we know fall will go by quickly. It's holidays and fun and excitement, but it's also changes, lots of changes, weather, time change, if you still, you know, observe that where you live. And the time change still affects everybody else. You know what I mean? So there's a lot. I didn't feel like this was going to be a 3-month projection reading, but for you guys at least, I'm just getting like till the end of the year. Take it easy, right? You got to take it easy and get balanced. And you know what's going to really help? Once we get out of Virgo energy and we get into Libra, everything's going to feel lighter. And then once Mercury goes direct in the beginning of October, is going to feel even lighter. But then Mars is going retrograde, I think, at the end of October. So, you know, like I said, and we've got eclipse season coming up. It's the rest of the year. Lots happening. Take it slow. Just because we're not in lockdown or anything anymore doesn't mean you have to go back to the pace of other people. Go at your own pace. You think that this white buffalo is going to go at anybody else's pace but theirs? No. Unless they have to outrun a predator. Right? But who wants to do that? All right, you guys, those are your messages. Until next time, all of my information is in the description box below, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh.